Alright YouTubes, today's video is going to be the painting stage to the Audi A1 that I done on a budget for someone and some small repairs. If you want to see the repair stage of this job, go and check that video out. So trying to keep things small really, being silver, this car's silver, so we've got a repair on one panel, then miss a panel, and then a repair on another panel. So ideally you'd want to go down the side, but then the costs are going to start going up in materials, labour. It's not a massive amount of work to blend other panels, but then you're going to find bits of damage and imperfections that you're going to have to take care of and not paint over. So I'm trying to keep it small. So this is about really keeping your blends tight and not painting every adjacent panel. So we've got repair on this near side rear quarter panel and blend into the door. So it's only a small quarter panel, the blend panel's bigger than the painted repaired panel, but not a problem. Gonna blend that, explain to a customer, I just blend that door, doesn't take a lot to prep that. So we've got no issues there, normal procedure, normal amount of room to blend. So on this side we've got a small repair at the back of this quarter panel. And we've also got a small repair at the bottom of this door. So ideally I'd want to go down the side with this car, being silver, repairing that door, trying to blend within that door, it's a little bit tight, blend in the front wing and then blend within that quarter panel. Trying to keep that blend tight. It's just a much simpler, more straightforward way. It's just to paint colour, just colour that whole side. But she just wanted these small bits of damage done. It was a little bit patchworky looking anyway, that side, that the door had been painted, and yeah, certain angles you could see. So that's what I agreed. I'd keep it below the feature line there on that other side and just do this side with two full panels. So first thing I'm doing is putting blender coat over it all. Really helps aid with the blending. Obviously fills in all the little micro scratches in your blend area. So I give it all a coat with Mipa blender coat. I decided to go to the feature lines because it's a bit of a different angle. It would save a bit of stripping on the door with the door card and the mirror moulding coming off. And I thought, well, you know, that colour can stay the same. It all looked okay across the top, and then I'll just keep it all below the feature line. Like I say, it's a budget job, trying to keep everything small, keep minimal amount of base coat, materials, and just keeping the labour down as low as I could without painting, you know, the majority of the car. There would have been just as many blend panels as there would have been repair panels, so they come here with, you know, 1 in 3 panels repaired, and I'm telling them that 6 panels need to be painted. Sometimes it's just not what, you know, people don't want to hear it, and you know, people are not as fussy. So I try to cater. We do all sorts here. We do, you know, we do nice high-end stuff. You know, I've got a Porsche GT4 coming on the channel in a couple of weeks, and we've done an extensive amount of paint work too. It's like a 23 plate car. And then we do stuff like this, you know. It's yeah, it's all work, and we try and cater for different qualities, but we always, you know, make sure the job's done properly. You know, it's going to last them. It's not going to be peeling and fading and flaking off within a couple of weeks. So that blender coat goes on. It's one skinny closed over coat. It's ready for use in the pot. So put it over the whole job, over all your primer, all your blend area, just coat everything in it, one coat. It fills in all the little micro scratches. It really helps on silver. Sometimes you can get little score marks looking, you know, when you've done a bit of dry sanding. Sometimes they can appear sometimes in your primer. it scores it sometimes, so it fills in those. It really helps. Then I just leave it at the booth temperature, which is around 22-23 degrees. I use that A&I blower on the medium heat setting, and sort of showing you in real time how long it takes to dry that out. Doesn't take long at all. So I thought I'd leave this in real time. I would either edit this bit out or I would speed it up, but I'll just sort of show you my procedure when I'm painting a car with my paint system Mipa, and how it all works, and the procedure that I've got. I'm constantly doing something from start to finish. So I've not really got any waiting times, because I'm either drying the product, so I'm drying the water base, or you know, I'm on to the next application. So I dry the blender coat out at normal temperature, because the only time I may have a bit of waiting is getting heat in or getting heat out. This was a few months ago, this job, so it was in the colder months, so I can get the heat out pretty quick. So I leave it at spray temperature for the blender coat, and like I say, use that A&I blower. Doesn't take long, and then I'm in now. Take that off. I no need to clean the gun out, and I put the colour straight on. So I obviously have my colour already mixed. I like to have it already mixed before, you know, instead of letting stuff, just leaving it to dry, because it uses more energy for me turning the booth up to temperature and not blowing it. So I do blow all the water-based coatings, always blown dry. I never leave it to dry naturally or turn the booth up. If I turn the booth up, I'm still going to go in there with the blower. So yeah, straight on with the colour. Again, like I say, it's Mipa water base. Give it a little shake because it's been sat there for a little bit. Sprayguns SataJet X5500 HVLP with a 1.2i setup. That's what I use for the Mipa water base. And the procedure for it is a half coat, like a stabilising coat first. So get that half coat on there. Coverage in silver's really good. Even the half coat covers well. And I must admit, this system's been in water base. I've used a fair amount of different water base coats over my time. I find it one of the easiest to blend out of out of a lot of them I've used. I've had an Octral scheme, Leclerc scheme, Lesnall scheme. Definitely this is one of the best for blending without doubt. So that half coat on there, again, I just leave normal booth temperature, spraying temperature around 22-23 degrees, and again use the A&I blower, because I can increase the temperature a little bit from that blow gun without turning up the temperature in my booth. Especially in the cold months, if I'm trying to get my spray temperature up over 30, my burner on my oven is at full chat, and it's consuming a lot of gas then, and it's being sucked straight out the extractor, so I don't like to do it like that. So again, that A&I blower is great for increasing the temperature of your air to blow the water base out, and that half coat doesn't take long to dry at all. So that half coat's on there, it's dried out. Straight on now, which this is like a double coat. You can do it as two individual coats. This base coat doesn't go on sopping wet, but I do it as a double coat. They're not full wet coats on top of each other, they're sort of 3/4 coats on top of each other. Just get it on there. It looks textured and patchy. I've said this in a few other videos, especially the metallics. Get all that coverage on there, get all that blend in. That's it, that's all the base coat done. So you get the blender coat on there, get that stabilising coat on there. Doesn't take long at all. I'm constantly always doing something and not stood around waiting for stuff. And like I say, you get this coverage coat on there as a double coat, or you could probably do it as a single. I just do it as like a double to even up the base coat and even up the metallic a little bit. Get all the blending done, get all your flicking out where you need to blend, get all that done in that one application, in that coverage coat. And it doesn't sort of fire around everywhere. You don't get loads of metallic bunching up at the edge of your blend. You know, water base is good for that. I find it's better for that than solvent. You start doing loads of flicking in solvent and you get a lot of metallic flying around in the air, flying around all over your blend panel, all over your masking, whereas that's one advantage with water. There's not a lot of overspray off it, so you can, I find that a better way, you know, it's an easier way to blend without loads of, especially got coarse metallic in a colour, with it out all flying all over the panel and you're constantly tap ragging it off. So that double coat on there, once your overspray's cleared, I'll get the booth on bake, because it's more efficient on bake where the air's recycling. Get it up to 45 degrees, so it's not too warm in there, but warm enough to really dehydrate that water out, and then I get my SataJet blower and blow it out. So once the base coat's on there, again, I'm still working, I'm not stood around, I'm blow drying it. Get it blow dried, get it cooled down, and now drop coat, drop it down to 1 bar, and just drop coat over your base coated area and into your blend. So wherever you've blended on the coverage coat, drop coat into it, and any little halos or any little shadows from blending on the coverage coat, you can almost hide them with that drop coat, and it dries out silky smooth, this base coat, even though it looks textured and patchy when it's wet. When it's dry, it's smooth. There is no texture in it at all. And then the 1 bar drop coat just sits on there. You can't feel it. It doesn't make it rough. It doesn't need to be over drop coated. I do 1 or 2. I do the 1, let it dry out. If I think it needs a little bit more blending or a little bit more of a blend zone, or it may look a little bit patchy to me, then I will give it a second drop coat, but make sure the first drop coat is dry. So now we're on to the clear coat. So the clear coat I'm using on this is Mipa's sort of budget clear coat. It's a quick dry budget clear coat, and it's called Mipa CX2, and it's great for jobs like this. I can get factory looking finishes out of it. It dries super quick. It's like with a HS10 hardener, which is the fast hardener, which is okay for jobs of this size. Probably wouldn't do much bigger. It's a sort of winter hardener. It's a 10-minute bake at 60 degrees, let it cool, and you can handle it. It's fine to handle, and and polish. So again, using that clear coat, I can keep the costs down on the running costs of the booth, and the clear coat is cheaper. They got a couple of quick dries, CX2, which is their sort of budget one, and it is a budget one. You buy it as a kit with a hardener for around £100. I think it's an absolute bargain. It polishes pretty well. The gloss retention is pretty decent on it. It's not like amazing for your high-end cars and anything of that caliber, but for this type of work, it's perfect, because I know it's not a cheap nasty clear that's just going to die on me, and it's going to look faded, and yeah, just for a few quid less you could get a real cheap clear, and it's not going to do no way near the job that this clear will do. Like I say, it's around £100 for a kit, and the hardener, it's a decent quality. If you notice there, the hardener I'm using, I buy it as an industrial hardener now. It's exactly the same. That's exactly the same as a HS10 hardener, which is just on a different product line. It's exactly the same hardener, only comes in 5 litres, so in big ones, and it's used for like the PUR 2K direct glosses, so it saves a little bit of money. So I just buy the hardeners separate now. I buy them HS25, HS10, buy them as the industrial versions. Don't know if I should be saying it or not, whether that's a little secret that Mipa don't want you to know, but you do save a bit of money buying them like that. So that's how I buy the hardeners now. So yeah, anyway, back to the clear. HS10 in it, quick budget clear, but like I say, it's got longevity. It will last. I give paint warranty with my jobs. and I give paint warranty because I use Mipa. Every wet product that goes on a job here is done with Mipa. So sorry about this bit. I know you're just, well, if you made it this far, you're just watching me stir paint, but I've sort of kept this one in a bit more real time instead of speeding up loads of bits of it, just so you can see how long it takes, really, like gauge. So if you're someone that doesn't know how long it takes, or your setup's going to dictate how long a job will take to paint anyway. So I was sort of just showing a, you know, a more real-time version of it, I suppose. Like I say, going back to when I paint a job, the procedure's pretty much the same, depending on what applications I've got to do, but I just make it so I've always got something to do in between applications. Once I start painting, I'm doing something all the way right till the end. So even I put the first coat of clear on, so like I say, with the base coat, I'm either putting it on or drying and flicking between those two till it's all done and drop coated, and then while the drop coat's drying, come and mix my clear up. By the time I've done that, I do check it, because sometimes I've been caught out. I check it, make sure the drop coat's dry, tack it off, get one coat of clear on there, and then how I gauge time between coats of clear, I don't really ever check them asking for, see if it's tacky or not. I go and clean my base coat gun out, because I know that's it now. I can't use my base coat gun. There's not going to be anything that I might see that may require a bit of base coat going back over it. So yeah, even in between the two coats of clear, I'll go and clean my base coat gun out, and then once that clear second coat's on there, I'll clean my clear coat gun out, tidy up. That takes me about 10 minutes. That's enough time for the car to sit there at normal booth temperature, 22, 23. I give it, by the time I clean my gun out and sorting out the paint pots and all the rest of it, it's about 10 minutes, and then it goes on bake. So that's my procedure. That's how I get through a paint job from start to finish. I can't stand around and wait. I'd rather be in there drying base coat than, you know, stood there waiting for it to dry or going on my phone, because as well I could lose a bit of focus as well. You know, once I'm in that booth painting, I want to stick to it and keep my head in it without any distractions, really. Gun I'm using is the SataJet CC. I don't use my CC very much, to be honest with you. It just doesn't suit my style. It's not fast enough for me. This CX2 is a little bit of a thinner product. There's no thinners in this CX2. It's just 2-to-1 with the hardener. So yeah, it sort of suits the CC. It puts a little bit less product on. I don't know. I don't use it enough. I use it now and then I'll carry on with my other SataJet X5500s, a 1.20 setup, because I'm so used to SATAs, because it's all I've pretty much used my whole career. That O setup is like a traditional. It's a bit wetter, a bit faster, get more product on, so I'm used to using that. So when I go to the CC, it takes me a couple of jobs in before I get a bit of a flow with it. But I want to speed it up, I want to hurry it up all the time. That's the trouble with that CC. I'm always wanting it to go a bit faster, because I'm pretty much always in a rush, because there's always something, you know, being a one-man band, just me and Reese, there's always a list of stuff to do, like you know, any of you other guys, you've always got the next job on your mind and all the rest of it. Maybe I spent quite a few years working on bonus, so maybe painting fast was key working on bonus. You know, worked in a bonus shop for about 6-7 years, and yeah, was banging as many jobs through the booth as possible. I was always trying to, you know, get that paint on there as fast as possible to earn your bonus. So probably why I want to, you know, my painting style is a bit like that. I want it to go on there fast. I want the, you know, the results to be pleasing to the eye out the gun and on there fast. And that's probably why the CC doesn't suit me so much. But it puts a lovely coat of paint on it, a flatter coat for definite compared to the 1.20 that I've got. But yeah, it just doesn't quite suit my spraying style really, and I'm not very good at adapting my spraying style. This, you know, some people can just pick up any gun and a few pulls of the trigger and they can adapt to it. I'm a bit of a trial and error. I need to push stuff to the limit, rein it in, and then work out where I need to be with it from there. So that's it for this one. I'll leave you to watch the rest of the clear coat going on, and you'll see the results at the end outside. Didn't come out too bad, to be fair, keeping them blends tight. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon. Right then, YouTube, that's the Audi all finished and fitted up, so I'll give you a quick look, and it went okay. So we blended this side. Yeah, colour's gone in nice, it's blended in nice. Edge to edge there, it's not too bad, it's not 100%, but it's okay. And then this side, there is a bit of a discrepancy between these two panels where the blend was so tight. I do find sometimes you overspray in your blend, the metallic can stand a little bit different, can influence, you know, the panel at the end towards the panel next to it, you know, where the blend was so tight. But I managed to, you know, you can't see any evidence of the blending in there, and yeah, just trying to keep it small, you know. Two small bits of damage on the side of this car. Some people, you know, it's not a new car, they don't want the whole side of the car painted. It costs more. I know it's not a lot to prep that door in between and do the tops and everything, but there is other bits involved. So it'd be door card off, stripping the mirror out, mouldings off. You know, it's trying to find a balance between getting their damage gone and keeping the cost down, because it costs more materials to do it. There's more work involved. Yeah, it's not a lot more, but you know, people have got, you know, budgets to go to, so I try and find a happy medium. And it's not 100%. Ideally, yeah, you want to paint the whole side on this car being silver with its bits of damage in between, but like I say, it's finding a balance. There's no right or wrong. This is what we agreed with the customer for the money that they wanted to spend. So yeah, it's not too bad. So blending there, keeping it as tight as possible, you know, that small bit of damage, almost like a smart repair, I suppose. The reason why I chose to come off of this feature line on here and on the door, well, one for the door saves the stripping, but obviously they're going to have a bit of blending into this top bit, and it is a bit of a different angle, so it will, you know, if there's a colour discrepancy, it doesn't show so much. I know it keeps that looking original the same then, otherwise I've got blend going into this, so you know, I would have a bit more of a colour discrepancy at the top. So that's the sort of reason behind that. To be fair, I should have come off the feature line on the fuel flap, but oh well, we live and learn, don't we? Had room to blend. You know, I blended this wing off my own back, to be honest with you, because they only wanted the door and that quarter panel painted, but for what it was to blend that wing or something that I just took on my own back and haven't charged for. It doesn't take a lot to prep that and just to blend it in, and then you've just got no issue there, and there's plenty of room to blend within that door. But yeah, it's blended in nice. So the Mipa base coat is one of the easiest base coats I've used, water base coats anyway. The Mipa base coat is one of the easiest ones I've used for blending metallics and silvers. It blends fantastic, even if the colour's not that great. It's really easy to blend, it's really easy to use, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'd never seem to have any issues with halos or, you know, seeing where it's blended. The only issues I've had in blending is with the pastel colours, but yeah, there's a bit more investigating and work to do on the pastel colours at the moment. But silvers and silvery metallics and, you know, silvery blues and all that, they blend in lovely, really easy to use. The last paint scheme I was on was I had an octral scheme, and the colour matching and everything, the product was great, but I really struggled with the silvers blending. Could always see it at certain angles, but this you can catch this in different angles, blended in a treat. Yeah, that's it for this one. Just yeah, trying to keep blends small and keeping stuff to a minimum instead of painting 3/4 of the car, you know. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again in the next one. Look after yourselves. Cheers.